What's up, everybody? It's the Bipolar Prophet, and welcome back to Old Ridge Farm in Farming Simulator 15. I'm sorry if I just screamed right there. I don't know. What's up, everybody? I don't know why I did that. BP had too much coffee, I guess. I don't know. So we're back here on Old Ridge, where hopefully the farm will go a bit better than it's going on Waldecker. I want to thank everybody for all the comments and all the kind words and everything you guys left on the last Waldecker video. I know that was completely silly. And things like that are going to happen with me occasionally. That map is confusing as hell, as you guys probably are aware. I'm going to take a break from Waldecker for a couple of days because I've got some stuff that I want to put out on the channel that I've been wanting to put out on the channel for a while, and I've been having a few issues with it. So Waldecker will be back probably next week, Monday, Tuesday maybe. But in the meantime, we are on Old Ridge, and we are down here on the sheep farm. Because I had to bring the sheep water and they need some food, so I figured, well, why not? And then I have a couple other things I want to do. All the alfalfa has now been mulched. I've spread manure on all the fields that I could spread it on. I used every bit of manure I had. I have a real shortage of manure. I cannot for the life of me manage to accumulate any. Hopefully over this season now, I can accumulate a bunch for next season. And then again, whether you guys see next season or not, I don't know. It's just a constant thing with me, whether I end this series or whether I don't. But anyway, let's go pick up a couple of bales, grass bales for the sheep. You can see I have a silage bale over here, and that's because apparently the Crone baler, probably help if I did this, I think. Because the Crone baler is the one from the mod contest, does some interesting things to the words. BP, come on, man, jeez, it's not even early, it's 2:30 in the afternoon, I still can't talk. Yeah, because the Chrome baler does some interesting things with bale extension, it unwrapped all my bales apparently, so I had to kind of go in the XML and find the bales I wanted to wrap, and I might have added one or two here or there, but okay, whatever, it is what it is. I think if I drop that in the trough, it's not gonna work, so let me drop it right here and see if I can shred this here now. Hopefully, yep, I can. So we'll give the sheep some food. I also have one other thing I want to do. Sort of a, I don't know, an update, I guess, an update for a piece of equipment. I've been thinking about this for quite a while. Now, I bought the skid steer, as you guys know. And Shawnee B used it, and I've used it, and I really like it. But I think part of the problem I'm having with that thing is that I'm not using it enough. It doesn't really have the reach to do what I need it to do, to load, say, manure into trailers and stuff. It doesn't have a real issue with the manure spreader, but it's not ideal for other things. So I think what I'm going to do, well, I don't think, because I've already had a conversation with the dealer. I am going to trade it in for another, let me guess. This is full now, right? Of course it is. Darn it. Or am I just maybe not in the right spot? Let's try that. I may not be in the right spot, but I think it's probably full. Yep, it's full. Okay. You can see this grass is not in great shape. That's simply because of the fact that the grass meadows were in such bad shape when I cut them. But oh well, it is what it is. So let me see if I can get this off here and pick it up again. There we go. So I can just stick it in here. Yeah, so I called up the dealer and I said, listen, I bought that skid steer, last year, and I really like it and everything, but it's just not suiting my needs. And he said, well, it doesn't have that many hours on it, and we know it's in good shape, and, because you've brought it in for maintenance and all that. And, we'd be glad to take it back and give you a little bit of a deal on a telehandler, if that's what you're interested in. So we're going to go down and we're going to look at but we're going to buy a telehandler. So, the JCB, the Agri Load-All one, because it's rugged, it's powerful, it will do everything I need it to do. It'll stack bales, it'll load trailers and all this other stuff. I'm going to need something to load out of the grain shed anyway, and I just don't think that the skid steer is going to handle that. So now you can also see that I went down again to the dealer a couple days ago and picked up the correct front loader for the case. As it turns out, the stole front loader, me trying to be cheap and trying to save some money, wasn't working out. It fit on the tractor obviously, but it wasn't wide enough and it didn't lower enough because this tractor is considerably higher. obviously, than the Ford was. So, you know, all things to, you know, the things we had to think about. I was, like I said, trying to save some money. It didn't really work out, but now we have the right front loader. We'll have a good telehandler. So if we tab around, the other case is down here. I had to refill it because it was almost empty after it's been mulching all day. Perry did a great job, as I would have expected him to. You know, he got all the mulching done and everything. He's taking a little bit of a break now. So we can go down to the pig and beef farm, where you can see I have the JCB already loaded onto the Flegel animal trailer with the bucket and all that. I just want to make sure that that this thing is actually locked on here. It is. Okay. So we can get this fired up, bring this to the shop, and trade it in. So this thing has done, you know, it has done a good job for us. It's done what I needed it to do, but it's just to the point now where I need something with more reach, something that's more functional. I don't want to have stuff that I only use for one purpose. Now, if I get this, when I get this telehandler, it's going to do a lot of things. It's going to muck out the animals. It's going to stack bales. It's going to probably pick bales up off of the field. It's going to help me form sentences. You know, it's going to do all that stuff. It's going to unload the grain shed, you know. It's going to load potatoes. It's going to do all that sort of stuff. So I think it just makes more sense to have a more versatile piece of equipment than just a skid steer. The skid steer was cool, and it did its job, but now it's time to move on into something else. I've also got a couple of calls in about the Ford. You know, the guy who bought the IH, if you remember way back when I sold the International Harvester, he's professed an interest in the Ford, not so much for its collectability, but just for the fact that, you know, he's like, you know, it'd be cool to have kind of a tractor just kicking around the yard, you know, to do some stuff with, you know. So he's decided he's going to come down and take a look at that in a couple of days, you know. I'm really busy right now, obviously, got a lot of stuff going on. All the manure has been spread, like I said, that I could spread because I just didn't have enough of it to do everything I wanted to do with it. But okay, I got the fields that hadn't been worked yet spread, which is what I really wanted to do. So the rest of them have been, you know, the alfalfa has been mulched. So now all we got to do is just plow those fields, cultivate them, and then get planting. So a little early for planting yet, but not too early for the groundwork, you know. You can see it's still snowing here in Old Ridge, still the same day basically. You know, just a few hours ahead of where we were the last time. Just because I've got so much stuff to do that I don't want to fast forward time and get all screwed up on my time, you know. So you may have seen, hopefully you have seen, the video that Mike put out about Justin's wedding. That was a great time. I can honestly tell you that that was probably one of the better weddings I've ever been to. Excuse me. It was the first English wedding I'd ever been to, and it was the first wedding I'd ever been to where everybody dressed up in overalls and drove tractors. It was great. The parade was a lot of fun. There was, you know, everybody came down. A lot of Justin's organic farming friends came down, you know. Old Bob was there, the Major was there, her ladyship was there in her old Chevy C10. It still kind of surprises me, you know, and it probably shouldn't, but it still surprises me when I see American stuff over here, because I always wonder, well, how did it get here? You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, stuff gets imported and all of that, but it still kind of surprises me every time I see a piece of American, you know, truly American equipment down here. But it was a fun time. It was great to be an usher. You know, I got to meet a lot of people that I hadn't met before. Funnily enough, Mike had persuaded the Crawford Browns to come. Now, as you guys are probably aware, Mr. and Mrs. Crawford Brown, or Mr. Crawford Brown and Mrs. Counselor Crawford Brown, to get her title correct, are going through a patch right now. You know what I mean? Because as it turns out, not to be one to gossip, but Mr. Crawford Brown was having a bit of an affair, I guess. Mrs. Crawford Brown found out about it, and, you know, basically shit hit the fan, as we say in America. And so they arrived separately in their matching but different color BMWs, you know. And then I had the absolute joy of escorting them to the groom's side of the church. You know, and Mrs. Crawford Brown was definitely sort of giving me a look. I know she probably wasn't thrilled with the overall idea, and to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Justin and Mary had picked that idea just to spite them. You know what I mean? But you know what? And I said this to Mike right before we all moved over to the pub for the reception. I said, you know what? You did a good thing. It was nice that they were here. Family is family. That's their son. And if they can't get past the fact that he wants to be a farmer, he wants to live maybe a low life, and not a low life, but I mean a smaller life than what they want to live. You know what I mean? You got to be happy for your kids, and I'm glad they were there. So, 1 second, guys, I got to answer this. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. So here we are at the shop. I forgot what I was saying now, because for you guys it's been a second. For me, it's been like 20 minutes. So anyway, here we are at the shop, and I believe the JCB, yep, is over there. The load all. So very cool. We will go ahead and get the, or at least try to get this thing out of here. You know, this is a little tricky at the best of times, so getting it out may not be so bad if I can get it to go straight and not drive it off the ramp. I'd hate to wreck it right here at the shop. I'm sure our dealer would not be thrilled with that. So, all right, so we can say goodbye to our little skid steer, which is, again, served us very well, but I just would like something with a little bit more functionality. So the JCB was $58,000, which isn't awful, Oh, you know what? Don't sell this yet, silly. Do not sell this yet. What did I forget, guys? I forgot the bucket. Gonna have to buy a new bucket for the telehandler anyway, so it just made sense to sell this one. I believe this one does not fit the telehandler. It might. I don't know. But I'm gonna get a new one anyway. I also need to pick up a muck fork because I think that'll just be easier. Because, my muck is all mixed with straw, as most muck is. It's a little tricky with the bucket sometimes, Not in the game, obviously. The game could care less. But, for realism's sake, I think a muck fork would probably be the best option. So, all right, now let's try this again. We'll go drop this off. We'll go in. We'll pick up the keys for the load all, and we'll give it a look, I've already given it a look, obviously. Come down, take a look at it. One thing about this dealer, he's really good about, making me spend money. So, he's a talker, this guy. So, of course, I knew I needed it, but the bucket is just a ripoff, huh? $29,400. Okay, well, very good. So at least we're just above over $100,000. Now, you may have also, if you watched Mike's video, the previous Old Ridge video before the wedding video, you may have notice that we have come to a decision about a beet harvester, about a self-drive beet harvester. Apparently, there's a farm a ways from here that it was doing a huge beet business and fell into some hard times and needed to sell off some of its equipment. They had a couple of pieces of big equipment there that Mike took a look at. One was a Grimmy, which had a lot of hours on it. It was a little beat up, according to Mike. And then the Ropa, which, if you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Ropa equipment. You know what I mean? It's like brand new. It really is. It's got very low hours on it. It's only 18 months old, I guess. They bought it to sort of keep up with their beet demand, and then they got some disease in their beets, and they've been having some trouble with their soil, and they've been losing money, and they need to get some of it back. So they were willing to sell that Ropa, which is about a $600,000 machine for $200,000. If we all split that 4 ways, me, Mike, Cuthbert, and the Major, it's $50,000 a piece. I have no worries with that, you know what I mean? And the Major has said that we can use his big old, ex-Army surplus truck to haul it around, and he's got a big low loader that it will fit on. So I know Mike tried to call me. I was out in the fields. I don't have the best service out here, I should probably pick up the bucket, huh, while we're thinking about it. I wonder if there is... I don't think there is a mod bucket. No, I'll have to just get the standard bucket. Yeah, I don't have the best reception out in the field, so I missed his call. But I trust his judgment, you know what I mean? He knows what he's talking about. He's been a farmer for a very long time, and he knows his equipment. So I was more than willing to accept his judgment for it. So... do we not have... Is this the only bucket I can use? Should I get a bucket? Well, I need a bucket and a manure fork. That's the problem. What am I going to need first? Well, if we buy both... Well, okay. Let's go ahead and get that, and we will get the bucket. Just to get it over with. Okay, that's enough money spent, BP. The dealer is going to be thrilled with you as it is. So, yeah, this is a nice piece, it's got an attacher. It's a JCB, so we're not really switching. We're not switching brands. You know what I mean? We're just kind of moving up a little bit, I guess. So, go ahead and jump inside. Very pretty on the inside. You know, this is a reskin of the New Holland, in case you guys didn't know. But it's got some added features to it. You know, it's been done very well. It looks very good. So I think what we will do is we will, we can only take one piece of equipment back with us at a time. So let's, I wonder, by any stretch of the imagination, will this thing fit in this? Because then we can just put the bucket. Actually, can we put the bucket on the... Can we put both of... I don't know if they'll both fit on the back of the Unimog. They might, but probably not. And probably not from this angle. Nope, they will not. Well, you know what we could do? Yes, this has got to go down to the pig and beef farm, but for right now, I'll just run it down to the main farm just to get, you know, get it down there. Give me a chance to drive it, you know? This is a road-going vehicle. You know, it's got blinkers, it's got lights, it's got a beacon, it's got all that stuff. So it's reasonably quick, you know, for a telehandler, which is handy, you know, especially if you're on a big field and you need to shift from one end of it to the other. So it's got plenty of power. It'll pull a trailer, you know, if I so need it to do. So I think all in all, this was a pretty good purchase. Now, I think what I'll do is I will just park it over here. See if I can hit the gate trigger here, get the gate open. One kind of cool thing about these gates is they come with a remote control, you know. They look all vintage and oldie, timey and all that, but they're really not. They're really sort of high-tech, you know. They come with a remote control that opens them. They run on little electric motors that are buried in the posts. So as long as I don't forget to carry the remote control with me, I'm good. So, okay. Now, what did I just do? I'm an idiot, right? And I forgot to bring the bucket over to the main farm too. Oh, well, I'll just reset that stuff afterwards. Okay, so now... now, that phone call that I just got was kind of important, and it was kind of, it's going to kind of curtail the length of this video a little bit, but what I would really like to do here is maybe go get hooked up to a plow and get this sort of started on one of the new fields to plow, you know. I think that'll probably be a good idea. And then, you know, it's going to be several episodes of plowing. Just want to make sure I actually turned my beacon on. I did. You know, it's going to be probably quite a few episodes of plowing because there's quite a bit of plowing to do. You know, and then cultivating and all of that before we start harvesting. Got to put stuff in the ground before you start harvesting, BP. Oh, now I'm suddenly all nasally too. In case you didn't know, you know, I'm from New England, you know, in the United States, on the East Coast of the United States, and it's getting to be fall here, although it is like 86 degrees out right now, so you'd never know it. And fall and spring tend to be very busy times for me. Fall because I am, you know, trying to stock up on food. I'm trying to, you know, a lot of my friends are hunters. A lot of my friends go a lot of places to get meat, you know, and I tend to get quite a bit of it, and I have to make room for it and all this other stuff. You know, there's a lot of house prep that needs to be done. You know, my pool I need to close my pool, which I've already done. You know, hence why there was no video for today. Today is Thursday. You guys will see this on Friday. There was no video on Thursday because on Wednesday I was just extremely busy getting everything done. So, you know, so I tend to be busy. So if there's not a video every day during maybe the next month or so, I apologize, but I will do my best to get out a video as often as I can. So yeah, so I kind of had plans to sort of get maybe one field plowed in this episode, but I think now that I've gotten that phone call, and I got kind of a late start today too, so I think now that I've gotten that phone call, what I will do is I will get the plow hooked up to this. I got to get some weight on it too. I'm not sure where I left the weight for this. Not 100% certain about that. Go figure, right? What farmer loses his own stuff? I hate that view. That camera view drives me nuts. It's the camera view for the actual bale spikes, you know, which is cool that it's there, but it doesn't work great, at least in my opinion. Okay, now what I want to do now is I would like to go drop these forks off because I'm not going to, and the front loader, because I'm not going to need either one of those to plow with. They're just going to be in the way. So can we drop this right here? Disconnect the whole thing. Yep, very good. Back away from it. Weight. Don't know. I know I have a weight on the case. I suppose I could just steal that because I'm not really going to need it at the moment. Just to keep, kind of move this process along a little bit. So what I will do is this. I will fire up the case. I will drop that weight off. I will back the case up out of the way. Might as well put it in the shed. Why not? We'll just park this in here. Gonna have to go through that harvester at some point too. Once it warms up a little bit, it's a little cold to be outside for any length of time now. You know, I am probably starting this whole process a little early, to be honest. You know, it probably would have been better had I waited a little while, but I didn't want to wait too long because I don't want to get behind. So now I need to figure out which button lowers my. Is it this one? Does this lower the front hydraulics? I believe. We will see here in a minute. Oop. Once I turn the IC back off again. Alt space. Thank you. Okay, yep. Because obviously, without the front hydraulics lowered, you can't hook anything up to them. So, all right, we'll grab this weight, grab a plow. I really should probably start on field 11, so I can get the. You know, I don't know. Actually, is that going to be a good idea? I don't know. Oh, did I leave this in the exact wrong spot? Right. Because it is on a trigger. Oh, you big doofus, BP. You know better than to leave stuff on a trigger. No way to get this, right? Of course not. This is what happens when you try to rush. See, I'm rushing now to get stuff done because I know I've got a bunch of stuff to do now. Where is it? Well, it's not down there, obviously. It's not there. It's somewhere in this mess. I'm going to have to reset it because otherwise it's just going to be in the way. Oh. And I won't be able to grab it. I think it's this one. We'll reset that. yes. Okay. Okay. Now we'll go around the other. Well, let's hook up to the plow. To be honest, this big tractor is probably not going to need a whole ton of weight on the front of it anyway. It's not like it's going to, you know, the plow is not so massive that it'll flip it over. But for traction, you'll need the weight. But just to pick it up, we won't need it. I thought about getting a bigger plow, but to be honest, I don't really want to spend the money just yet. This plow is probably going to do us quite well for a while yet. So, all right, let's go over here and let's get the weight that I had to move because I'm a dummy and I dropped it in a trigger. For those of you who may not know, who may not have, you know, maybe you just come to the channel to watch the videos, maybe you don't play the game, or maybe you're new to the game or whatever. You can't leave stuff in triggers because it makes it so you can't attach stuff. It's just a quirk of the game, you know. It's just part of the way the game works. So, all right, where is this weight? Where did it reset to? Guaranteed it reset going the other way too. Oh, I left the beacon on in a load all. Probably going to kill the battery. Oh no, it actually reset going the right way. So very good. All right, we'll pick this up. Get some weight on it. Get over to, actually, I should do the home fields first, but I need to make a course for those. So, that's not happening. Oh, you know what? Actually, let's go, oh, I remembered the weight settings too. Awesome. Let's go over to the home fields, and let's see if we can get, course play to kind of cooperate with me a little bit here, and pick up the fields. Pick up the whole field, I should say, the boundaries. And we'll get them started, and then I'll call it an episode because, like I said, now I'm in a rush and I got to get stuff done. And, you know, but there will be probably 3 or 4 episodes of this plowing. Try to do some other stuff, you know, as well at the same time. Hopefully, if everything goes right, you know, which is never a guarantee for me, but we can always try it. Okay, can we get a current field width here? That's not looking good. Really? Oh, we got it. That was scary. It all went red. The screen froze. I got real nervous. We're going to call this field, I don't know. Let's call it field 30, I guess, just because. And we will go up here, working with, well, it's not 8 meters, that's for sure. 1.8 meters. Okay, so I want to knock that down to 1.5. Starting corner, let's start, I don't know, north. west maybe, headed south. No, gonna need more than 2 headlands. Probably 3 after. Make sure I put it on the right field path. I think field 50 is actually these fields too. So now I have a whole bunch of these, but oh well. I'll figure it all out at some point. And we will turn all the waypoints on so we can see them. That's not awesome, but, well, it's not horrible though. Okay, now we need to turn this harp off because I can't see it. Where is the starting point? This snow could stop anytime now. That would be awesome. Let's zoom in a little bit. Is this the starting point over here? Or is this... Let me guess. My luck, this will be the end point, right? Ah, yep. Of course it is. Of course it's the end point. Now, do I need to plow this field? No. But I want to. So, because I think that that's the most realistic way to do it. You know what I mean? In real life, the mulcher would leave, would just cut the alfalfa down and leave it all in a big mess on the field, and then you'd come plow that in. In the game, the mulcher is a cultivator, so it cultivates as well. But, so basically what I'm doing is I'm cultivating, I'm plowing, and then I'm cultivating again, which I realize adds a step, or 2 steps to the process, but it is a bit more realistic. And I try to do things as realistically as possible on this farm. I know I'm not always in the cab, and I know I do some things that are a little sketchy from time to time, but again, you've got to balance the realism with the gameplay, I think. So all right, now the first thing I want to do is, this thing tends to plow really fast. 7 miles an hour may not be bad. Yeah, all right, you know what, you can needs to be on field work. First of all, you can go ahead and plow. I mean, this tractor has plenty of power. It's not going to have any issue plowing at 7 miles an hour. So drop the plow, and off you go. And there we go. So we're plowing, guys. We're on to the next phase of the groundwork, which is awesome. Real terrain is doing its thing. We're bouncing up and down the field a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and hide my HUD and get a screenshot here, because I think that's a pretty shot, even though it's snowing and whatnot. So, and there you go. So when we come back, I'm not probably going to do a whole bunch of this off screen. I'll probably do most of it on screen, I may even think about picking up another plow, getting it on the case, and maybe trying to speed this process up a little bit. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know. If you didn't, please let me know. If you liked the video, please click like. It helps me and the channel out a whole bunch. Gets me moved up on the search recommendations and stuff. And lets more people come and enjoy the silliness that is my farming simulator videos. Thank you so much for coming to the channel, for liking, for commenting, for subscribing. If you're new to the channel, you just saw Old Ridge Farm and Farming Simulator, and you wanted to check it out, and you like what you see, make sure to click the like button and click the subscribe button. The subscribe button will let you be notified of every time I make a video, which is pretty much every day. And as always, make sure you check me out on Bipolar Prophet Gaming on Facebook and at Bipolar Prophet on Twitter. If you follow me, I'll be glad to follow you back. Anything you guys want to leave me, any comments, suggestions, tips, complaints, concerns, anything. You just want to say, hey, BP, you just want to say, BP, you're a massive idiot. That's cool, too. I completely understand. I look forward to reading all your comments, and I really look forward to replying to them. I really love how that thing drops into a furrow. It looks awesome, doesn't it? Anyway. And as always, guys, thanks so much for making me a part of your YouTube day. And this is the Bipolar Prophet saying, see you later.